episode 318 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 28th of April 2025. Easter's are past us. Steve is with me. How's it going?
I got robbed of public holidays. God fucking damn it. Have we discussed this already?
I have no idea. Depending on what you're about
Yeah.
to say.
Because, well, all right, yeah, the public holiday thing. Because, like, normally Easter either leads into my first term holidays or it's somewhere around there. Like, there's been a couple times where Easter has been the last couple of weeks of the term, and it's been great because I get like 5 days off, then like 4 days back at work, and then I'm off again for 2 weeks, and it's fucking awesome. It was the middle weekend of the holidays this time. Got fucked. Anyway.
You and I have got a very different definition of being fucked by something like that.
Look.
It's so inconsequential.
It is, but god damn it. It's nice when I have a public holiday.
You had 2 fucking weeks off. Don't fucking complain. Fucking Jesus.
Don't.
You get 12 weeks off the fucking year anyway. What's a couple of fucking days for you? God.
You shut up!
No.
Okay, fair enough.
If you're going to make it the big song and dance band, I can push back.
I mean, that is literally, I think, the biggest thing I've got to outside of things getting delivered that are relatively inconsequential that get taken to the post office instead of just left on my doorstep. That annoys the fuck out of me too. Ugh. And then the Australia Post notifications are fucking shit because they'll send the notification through an hour up. Oh. Ugh. Anyway, the NBA playoffs have started.
Yay.
The one thing I'll say, did you see Dylan Brooks' comment about the Golden State Warriors?
I don't follow the NBA, so no.
He was like, oh, good job. You beat Memphis in the play and now you'll lose to us. Because the Houston's finished second. Mm-hmm. Houston are currently losing 2-1. They lost today's game. So sucked into Dylan Brooks because fuck that dude. Dylan Brooks is a piece of shit. Dylan Brooks. Football chant for the NBA. Anyway.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing video games.
Yay.
Not as many as perhaps people may think with, as you have correctly mentioned, I had 2 weeks off. Pretty much outside of the Friday and Saturday show, which has been a lot of looking at a lot of demos and stuff like that for upcoming games. Largely sticking to a relatively smaller number of games than I think possibly you may have expected.
Mm-hmm. I did.
One to stop. Sorry?
I did expect more, yes.
Well, I will say I finally went back to Doom Eternal after 3 or 4 weeks of not playing it on the Saturday show, and it took me over 2 hours to finish a level because A, fucking hard, and B, trying to get all the collectibles. I got my head kicked in. Anyway, I finished One to Stop. I got all the achievements. Don't even ask how you unlock them all, though, because I have no idea, and they seem to unlock randomly as you progress. Mm-hmm. The descriptions seem to allude to some kind of unlock condition happening in the narrative, but it didn't. They either unlocked well after those events, or I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that game's a really nice experience. The visuals are fantastic, particularly the different lighting effects and skyboxes and stuff they do with the different seasons. Mm-hmm. The story is very pleasant on the surface, as this idea of this warrior trying to regain her composure after not being able to fight. Mm-hmm. And they lighten that, but when you start scratching beneath the surface and as things progress, it does get darker, or at least develop some darker undertones. Mm-hmm. Exploring desires and purpose in life and all that sort of stuff. And Boro and Pluffins are fucking awesome. That's my last thing I've written down about One to Stop. I really dug playing it. It was just mechanically complex enough to remain engaging, but still mechanically simple enough to be that sort of cozy, chill experience.
Yeah, I want to try and play through on my trip to Melbourne next week, so I've got it. Got it on the Ally, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah,
yes. But yeah, I really dig this. I don't know where it'll land. by the end of the year because, oh, Jesus Christ. We've said it a bunch, but this year's looking absolutely all time.
For you, maybe not. I think nothing to
Really?
me. No.
Interesting.
No.
But yeah, it's fantastic.
It's the end of the April. I've not played a single game that's released this year, so that tells you everything.
Oh yeah,
I've not played a single game that's released this year because none of them appealed to me that much to go and play them.
You played a little bit of Wonder Stop.
I played a little bit, but you think it's an all-time game? The year's not even over yet, so there's wait till they've all landed and not gone to shit when they've gone out. But no, I mean, there's some potential there, no doubt. Yeah. Potential. But potential is not the same as an all-time year. So.
I mean, we'll get to it later this year. But yeah, Wonder Stop. What?
Get to it next year to tell me whether this year was a good year or not.
Next year. That's what I meant. Or maybe like sort of June-ish we do like a half-year review. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I will say there have been quite a few things I've played that have come out this year that I've really, really enjoyed. But we'll get to that as the year progresses. Play Wonder Stop. It's fucking great.
I plan to.
Anyway, it's about 8 to 10 hours.
It's a good length.
So,
yeah, good length. Yep.
Yeah. Something that is not 8 to 10 hours.
That's one mission. 8 to 10 hours.
I have actually. Where's my? Fuck. I have 20.8 hours so far in Assassin's Creed Shadows. That is essentially pretty much completing about 98% of the first area. I'm really enjoying it. I do wish they dumped the pretense of the Animus and all the fucking real world shit.
Oh, they're still doing some of that, are they?
They've stripped it way back.
There wasn't much in Odyssey and Mirage and.
There was Valhalla, which I don't think you played.
I didn't play any Valhalla enough to get into that stuff. But like in the previous games, it was like a heavy component of it. Now, more recent ones, like I'm doing the last 3 or 4 of them, that real world stuff is such inconsequential. It doesn't matter. They should just dump it. But I suppose they could have some pretext of why you're in this environment in the first place, I guess, and that's probably where.
I think, much like Ghost of Tsushima, you could literally just go, "Hey, it's open world. It's in Japan. Go."
Yeah, but they've already set up the backstory of how they get into these environments. They've got to do something.
Like the anime stuff in this one is superficial as well, because it's literally just an outline of a person type in some sort of metaversal sort of like purgatory, some sort of AI overvoice talking to you occasionally, and okay, keep going.
Yeah, as I said, they've pared it way back over the last 3 or 4 games. So they've got to keep doing something because they've set up the whole thing is based on the fact you're in these environments because of the Animus. So they've got to do something. But
there's a part of me that feels like they could drop the Animus and like no one would give a shit anymore.
I'm not saying they wouldn't. They just give a shit, but they do have to have some. I think unless they've either got to end something whereby. The Animus is no longer a thing anymore, then they can drop it. But I don't think they can just drop it out of the nowhere. They've got to do something.
Well, it does keep referring like as you as a user in the Animus.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is that's that sort of avatar outline thing that you get. It doesn't seem like the character. The last one I remember was Origin. Well, the last one I played any significant amount was Origin, which had the lady. Wasn't she some researcher in Egypt or some shit?
Something that was the last.
Yeah.
And even that wasn't as much as what it was in the previous
games.
Yeah, so there you go.
But right now I'm level 21.
So is each area is each area leveled like it is in the previous games? Like up to
It is, but the enemies also scale.
Oh, okay. Yep, okay.
So like I'm almost at the level to just be able to run over the entire fucking map. But I don't want to do that yet. I haven't even got to the point of getting the second character yet, Yasuke.
I was going to ask. So what's the story's being focused on the ninja character?
Yep.
Okay.
You literally spend the first half hour of the game with Yasuke as a tutorial. Then it's like, hey, here's Naoe, and here's the familial stuff where you're trying to get your revenge on this circle of samurai, and you're gonna fucking kill them. And so far, I've killed 2 of the 12, which were those were the only 12 2 in the first area. So I would wager that they're doing probably 2 per area, maybe. But But yeah, there's a lot of really neat mechanical sort of side projects.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And because at least for now, the focus on the hidden blade, where Origins really moved away from the hidden blade, it was still there a little bit.
Oh yeah, Origins and Odyssey were just straight up
Witches.
Brawlers really, rather than more than anything. Yeah.
But like, yes, there are parts when you get an open combat, you pull a sword or a Kuna Sagami or whatever it's called, or the Tanto. But most of the time, I'm just running around, stick, run. And that's the part that's really fun, like that mechanic. And like spending an hour to an hour and a half going through the castles, which are big structures with just guards and enemies all over the place. That mechanical...
That stealth stuff in those big castles, big environments has always been the draw for me in that game, has always been that. Just go, I've got to kill him, go across to him, kill him, go to him, jump down here, do this, and just sort of map your way through the whole thing to clear out the
They still call the see-through wall stuff eagle vision, but you're not going to an eagle, which is really funny to me. It's literally just you hold the button down to trigger it. All the environment goes grey except for red, which is the enemies, and you hold the left trigger and you can target them and mark them. Or orange for what I'm assuming is like servants.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if you let them go, they'll go and tell people. So I'm just like, well, you chose to work here. Fuck you. Bang. You do get a couple of flashback missions as sort of side objectives, or at least early on. They were a bit tougher because obviously at that point, it goes back to the story before Nobunaga's invasion of Iga, which is the main crux of it. But you don't have the tools or the hidden blade.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a little bit of I've spent like 5 hours stabbing fools. Oh shit, I don't have those tools anymore. But they're like 10-minute side things where they're like flashbacks, showing you the lead up and a bit of Naoe's training and things like that. They've done a really good job on the right. A lot of reviews criticize the overall story because it's a rather rote revenge tale. It's, you killed my father, I'm going to fucking kill all of you. And yeah, okay. But the characters within and the interactions and stuff like that are really well done. But we'll see how that keeps going. I am getting a bit annoyed at elements of the traversal, mainly like the big fuck off hills and mountains and shit, because if you're either trying to explore and see if there's anything not marked on the map, or you're just trying to, as the crow flies, go in a straight line, you end up trying to run up a mountain and just slide down. Because it sort of relies on pathing a little bit, which Tsushima never really did that off the top of my head. Or if there was, it didn't take fucking ages to find a way around. Like, I've been able to bollocks my way up most of them, but it doesn't make it any less annoying. That's the only real navigational issue I've got with it. There are a couple of times where it's like, what the fuck did you run and climb up on that for? I was pointing like a little bit to the left of that, which is really hard for the specificity on those in those engagements. But otherwise, like mechanically, it plays really, really well. The combat I haven't found particularly difficult. I've died because I got careless and wasn't paying attention to my health. But when you are paying attention, it's not... If you were able to finish Origins or Odyssey, you should be fine here.
No, yeah.
So they haven't made that too much more difficult.
They're not going to change the games that much to make them so different that people aren't going to want to...
Yasuke is very different mechanically, though, because he's a big fuck-off tank. You don't have the climbing on the roofs and things like that. But, yeah. There was a great little quest line that I ended up finding because there was a lady who goes, hey, I've left 10 origami butterflies around this joint. Go find them. And I'm like, where the fuck are they? Because trying to find them, they're in Osaka. All right, Osaka's a big fucking area. So I ended up looking up a map, and it was fairly tightly constrained within a certain part of Osaka, which is like, fuck. But it was this neat quest line of, like, child kidnapping and shit. I'm like, oh, man, that would have sucked if you didn't see that because you didn't do this. So, yeah, that was a bit of a bastard, but that was a really good quest line. And part of that, I had an NPC where I had to go find him and talk to him. And it was fucking shitting down snow because it was in the middle of winter. I walk into this little courtyard area, and now he's like, there he is. I'll go talk to him. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck do you mean there he is? I can't. Where the fuck is he? And like you try and do the eagle vision to find him. Nope, that didn't work. It's like, fuck. So I ended up looking that up too. I like the scouts that they've done too, where you get some scouts as part of your little clandestine, I guess, cabal of assassins that's starting to develop, and it'll give you an objective, and it's like, he's located in Western Setsu in Osaka. Go. And you can either try and bumble your way around, or you can just like demarcate an area for some scouts to go navigate, and they'll look at it and then float where at least the area for the target is.
Okay, interesting.
And you can also use the scouts to mark resources that get collected at the end of each season.
Okay.
I'll tell you what though, if this is passing by in actual years and actual seasons, fucking Noway's taken like 4 years to make any progress on killing any of these motherfuckers. Because I'm just running around all. There is a photo mode. I've literally only used it to photograph baby animals. So a puppy, a kitten, and a baby monkey. Which I'm very proud of myself for. But yeah, I would imagine this will continue coming up for at least, let's say the next 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
But yeah, it's fucking fantastic. I'm enjoying it. So
yeah. It's on my list to play. I just haven't got to it.
I will say, it looks really, really good. The character models for the most part look really great. The environment design is fucking phenomenal with the open world, and it runs really well.
Okay, cool.
I've got everything cranked on this old beast. Well, it's not old, but you know what I mean. And it's running really, really well. I streamed it at least once during the holidays. So there's a hangout of me basically skulking around a castle, fucking stabbing fools. That was fun. I started playing Citizen Sleeper.
2, obviously.
Yes, Citizen Sleeper 2. Sorry, Starwood Vector. So I really liked the first game. And it's kind of a visual novel mixed with some chancy sort of dice game elements. This is really well written, at least the part I played. Has way more locations though, and you're traveling between them way more often. And way more on offer from a task perspective, but the gameplay is basically the same. So you get choice-driven dialogue at points for the visual novel, and you use the dice in certain chance-based scenarios to progress the story. So sometimes it'll be use a dice to figure out how many credits you're going to get for this job or something like that. I got stuck in a point though, and I was really enjoying it up to this point. I got stuck in this fucked up purgatory where any progress I made was entirely incremental because they've introduced what are called glitches. And as your glitch meter increases, which you cannot heal, more and more of your dice become glitched. And if that happens, you have a 20% chance of a positive outcome and a negative 80% chance of a negative outcome. So 3 of my 5 dice were glitched, and the other 2 slots were broken. So I had next to no resources, so I couldn't repair them, fix them, do anything. It was all stuck because it's all just a single save slot. You're not saving at multiple entries. I got about 5 hours in, and because of just the situation I ended up being stuck in, it's like, well, I either restart the game now and burn the 5 hours, or say fuck this and maybe come back to it later. But now I've said fuck this and I might come back to it later. But the writing in that 5 hours was great. And it was doing and expanding on the stuff from the first game really quite interestingly. A little bit overly verbose in the writing, but it's sort of that sci-fi trope that you expect. It's very, very wordy. But just to get stuck in that position and be out and have no recompense, no way to resolve that other than just go, fuck it, guess I'll start again. Which, fuck it, guess I'm not playing it right now. But yeah, it is what it is. Really quite neat, but if I get back to it, we'll see how it holds up. Hey, would you be surprised at all to learn that I play Call of Duty Black Ops 6? I know, right? The one thing I say, there's a Jay and Silent Bob pack out, reminiscent of the Kevin Smith movies. And the Jay character, or the Jay operator, is great because he just says a bunch of lines from the movies, and it's great to hear him again. to the point where I almost wanted to watch the movies again, but I've seen them so many times. I'm kind of like, nah. But that's great. One of the very few common games so far of this year. Because I think you've played a brief spell of this.
No, I've not played it.
I saw it pop up on Steam that you were playing Spilled.
I played it for about 30 seconds to make sure it ran on the ROG and then closed it.
There you go. Spilled, which we did a check out of last weekend, which is live on the YouTube channel right now. It's basically a clean them up game. Like you're a little boat, like in the Kiat, and you're cleaning up all the oil and pollution that's in the ocean to make it all nice and livable again. And you clean up some animals and you go, yay! And then at some point, a big boat comes along at the end and you go, fuck you, and sink it.
Sink it, yeah.
I did end up getting that last achievement. It took all about 2 minutes. So I got them all, so I'm very happy about that. I thought Spilled was pretty good.
Yeah.
For what it is, the hour or so that it is, very enjoyable. I think it looks really great, and I like the little animals and the names on the animals. So yeah, Spilled. Get on it. Twilight Monk. We know I have a propensity for the old search action or Metroidvania style video game. This is one of those. The slight difference is the overworlds, as you navigate them, are kind of isometrically presented. Kind of Zelda-y. But you can't really do anything other than run around and just interact with areas. There are little ghosty sort of floaty dudes that rock up, and when they go into you, it's like that random battle in a JRPG.
Yep.
But that just transfers it to the 2D side-scrolling, and you just bash the dudes and go either side, and you just get credits and XP. I have probably about 6 to 8 collectibles left, and I've got no fucking idea where they are. Because I cleared out pretty much as much of the maps that I could find as I could do, and I hit every area, I think, but there's still collectibles I can't find. I ended up accidentally playing this for over 2 hours on the Saturday show, because I was like, I haven't played as much of this today as I wanted. Let's play more. I'm going to try and find these spider gems. And couldn't find them. So then I finished the game. That map thing is one of my only 2 issues. The other one is kind of an expectations versus reality sort of thing of the save points and dying, what happens with saves. This is not a Souls game. This is not a Souls Metroidvania. There's been a lot of those. And that style of game seems to have almost taken over the search action genre. You actually have save locations, and if you die, unlike in a Souls-like search action where it's just, hey, here's the checkpoint, go back, you maintain your progress. Yeah, not here, you don't. So there's times where you die, and it's like, fuck, I need to repeat that 20 minutes again. I'm hopeful that there's going to be some sort of update that might add some sort of notation of where things are that I don't have, because that would be great, because I'm shy about 6 to 8 of the achievements. One of them's to finish it on hard. I'm not going to do that because I can't be bothered. But everything else, it looks phenomenal. I love the art style. So it's got this really awesome animated, semi-hand-drawn art style where there's even some polygonal work in the background. Couple of the things that you pick up, like start spinning in 3D and stuff like that. That looks really, really neat. And it's relatively simple on the characters, but it looks, this is quite early too, because the UI looks different to this. But otherwise, fuck. You know what's going to happen. And that's the overworld.
Okay.
Whereas that's sort of top down. And like you just basically traverse these little areas like shops and different NPCs and things like that. It is not entirely easy. I died quite a few times. But it's not the Souls-like experience that a lot of search action games are relying on these days. But it's got a great look. It controls and handles really, really well. Like super well. There's some clever writing as far and like there's a real sort of wink and nod at some points, not in a really cheesy or like ill way to the player. And I can't stand that sort of shit most of the time, but it does it really quite well here. The only thing that I would say is a drawback is I don't really like the sound of it. There isn't much. The sound effect work is fine. The music is what it is. And there's no voice work, which of course, but that's not a big drawback for me, but the music is it's just very simplistic and basic. So it is what it is, but a fucking great one of those. Anyway. This is actually the last game on my list. This is a game that I played briefly last year because it came out last year. I was very much looking forward to it until I played it for about an hour. I was like, fuck this. And I must have played it either mad tired or something like that, because when I was streaming on Monday, I played some Assassin's Creed, did some Twilight Monk, and as I was playing that, I'm like, this reminds me of Bold Path of the Teal Lotus. Which was the sort of... This is more Souls-like, by the way. Came out July last year, after Nine Souls did. I played it. I didn't like it because I felt like there was too much going on in certain combat encounters to really focus on, and it just got in the way. I went back and played about an hour and a half on stream, and my opinion has completely 180'd.
Well, you probably play a lot of these games together, so
there is that too. Sometimes
you probably you're going to burn out on them if you play a lot of the same thing like that. So you're
not just burn out on these, burn out on playing games in general when that's all you do for.
That's what I mean. So when you go from one of those games to another one of those games, you're always going to comparing it to what you've just played, spent 10 hours playing or 15 hours playing.
And there's a slight mechanical difference in places as well.
And then that's independent of that. It's really, really good, but because you're comparing it immediately to something else, you can, I can get why you've gone 180 on it. I can understand 100%.
The boss encounter I got to that really fucked me off, I did it this time, and it took me like 3 goes, if that. Because either I wasn't as tired this time as when I was when I played it or whatever, but I was able to like just bam, 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 do what it needed me to do, and it was barely that difficult. But yeah, Steve, sorry, Bo. Twilight Monk made me think of it. I went back to it and I really dug it. I played a bit more of it on Friday, on the Friday show. I might keep chipping. I'll keep chipping away at this on either the Friday or Saturdays, and we'll go from there. That's it for games. That's like not including demos and shit like that. Or like I played about 20 minutes of Tower Unite 1.0.
Oh god, the game from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's actually out now. So basically, it's just fucking way more of that.
Yeah, okay.
Like the arcade is fully fleshed out, even though there's no real arcade games. It's all ticket redemption shit.
Yeah.
The casino, I played some blackjack and won a lot. I played poker, and the dudes who were playing poker there weren't very good and just kept folding, so I just kept winning. There was a Bobby Hill skin from King of the Hill. I equipped that for a while. There was a Cartman Wizard skin. I equipped that for a while. That game's still Tower Unite. But, and Doom Eternal's fucking kicking my head in.
Why is that on your list?
Because generally I don't put games on if I play them on the Friday or Saturday show.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise the list would be like 5 times longer. Because there were 5 demos I played on Friday, and it took me an hour to get through the 5 of them. Because they were varying degrees of not good. The only other thing I'll say is I've been watching progressively King of the Hill on the old Disney Plus, and that show's pretty great. As is being able to stream AEW Dynamite and Collision live, like when it happens. That's pretty good. Anyway, I believe you have the entirety of one fucking game.
Yes, I do. Yes. So,
any guesses as to what that is?
We'll quickly get this.
Comment below.
We'll get this over with really quickly. Yeah, it's satisfactory, not surprising. So I've put up episodes 38 and 39 of Solar Factory over this last week or so.
Yep.
And I'm currently working through what is episode 40, basically.
So 39 is scheduled for this coming week.
Yeah, so hopefully I probably won't get 40 recorded by the time I'm finished here, but I'll be able to get to it next weekend when I'm back, and then hopefully finish it off, and then put that offside for a bit. I've actually put the experimental version of Satisfactory on the Rogue ally.
Ooh.
Because I'm curious to see how it performs on the Rogue, and also it's the controller version of it.
Oh yeah,
they've added controller support to 1.1, the experimental version of that game, which is 1.1 they're calling it. So it's more just to see how it plays. I mean, if it plays obviously performs badly in the Rogue, then I'm not expecting it to perform well because it's a pretty intense game versus what that thing
and
is.
The computational shit behind it would be the thing that really drains it. But I'll be very curious how it runs.
I'm just curious how it runs, and if it runs okay and it plays okay, then I might play for it a little bit, just on a new save or something, just to see what it's like, to see what it's like using that with a controller, because that's the really big change in the 1.1 experimental they're doing. But yeah, look, I've now gone past 1900 hours in that game, so my save at least is 900 hours. Of that, there's 250 odd in Steam. The rest of it's in Epic. So yeah, obviously I play that an awful lot. So there's not much more to really say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it'd be really funny.
Most of my stuff I say in the various videos I've done, rather than bog this down here. So.
That's part of the reason why I don't talk a lot about the things I do on the Friday or Saturday shows either, because I say way more about them in the moment. I was going to say, I think it'd be really funny, because if we did a best non-2025 game for Game of the Year, it'd be like, hey, Satisfactory again. So I was thinking like, best non-2025 game presented by Satisfactory.
Yeah, I've done that in the past as well.
I think that like best non-blank Game of the Year would be just presented by Satisfactory, because otherwise it'd just be in perpetuity, and that award would just go to Satisfactory every fucking year. Which is a funny joke, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but
it's a good bit.
Not really what we want to really do, though.
I don't know. I kind of like the dumb and the funny. But yeah.
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 That's pretty much it for me. So
I've played a lot time-wise, but volumetrically not as much. Because most of the dabbling had been before getting to Twilight Monk. It was the games between like sort of late February, early March. Looking at those, and then I'm going to start playing AI Limit after we finish recording, which is one of the two Souls-like games that came out on the exact same fucking day at the end of March. That and the first Berserker Kazan. So I'll give AI Limit a run for a bit, and we'll see how we go. So expect to hear basically some variants of Black Ops, Assassin's Creed Shadows, ? Probably either AI Limit or first Berserker. There's the games coming out in May.
Let's do that.
And there's also one other bit of news. Ghost of Yotei has an October 2nd release date. Yay.
Hopefully
hopefully
it'll come out.
Yeah. I think it was really fun. They just go, hey, guess what? Boop, it's coming out October 2nd. Like, no fanfare, no nothing. Which I thought was really funny. Games of May. Are you showing them or I? There you go. This ordered really weirdly too, because Doom is the first game and it comes out halfway through the month.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix upcoming games, so just deal with it for a bit, mate.
That's fine.
So, Doom is obviously on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Which is obviously in a couple of weeks. Now, you're obviously not going to play it on launch because you're still playing
Eternal.
So
I'm really bad about playing games bang on launch as well.
Mate, something you simply don't do it, do you? Like you actually you design. I
don't trust games on launch.
By choice, you do it, not as a.
Yeah, I give it at best a few weeks, month or two at least, and go from there. But I'm super looking forward to the Dark Ages. They're doing. Hey,
I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to play a Doom game. It's just not my style anymore. But
it looks really like they're doing really interesting things like that. The skull shredding gun that's in the bottom. Yes, that one. Like that sort of weaponry and that sort of shit. Like they're moving. Everything they've said about it is they're moving away from the weak point stuff that they really focused on in Eternal.
Oh, okay.
Which in an intense firefight, which is. A lot of
these games are there, yeah.
Well, like for Eternal in particular, because like there's at least two enemies, the Spidertron and the Mancubus, where they do fucking heaps of damage, and you can use the scoped mode on the heavy machine gun to shoot those elements off, which isn't too bad, but if you're trying to dead.
Yeah.
They're sort of moving away from that and keeping it a bit more of a in between 2016 and Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
But Eternal's pretty fucking good. So yes,
the Revenge of the Savage. Now that's a sequel to.
That is a sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet.
Now, you like Journey to the Savage Planet?
Fucking I did.
Yeah, so I'm guessing.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to what they do here.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they continue that story, because apparently it's on the same planet as from the first game.
It's kind of makes sense based on the name. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very curious. I can't remember a lot of the story, and I'm sure they'll do some sort of But like even that top right hand corner screenshot where it's got the big neon this way, that is very much in line with that game's humor.
Yeah.
Which that game was written incredible. That first game was written incredibly well, and I really enjoyed playing it. So hopefully this one sticks the same landing.
Shotgun Cop Man.
Oh fuck me! Number one, at least from what I saw of the demo, the writing is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, I am Shotgun Cop Man. I am coming to arrest Satan. And Satan just goes, fuck you, Shotgun Cop Man. But it's like, it's dual joystick platforming, but you kind of use the gun as well for locomotion.
Oh, okay.
And like, I played it on one of the Friday shows, I think during the Next Fest. Very simplistic graphically, but it has a really neat look to it that's quite unique as well. It should be no surprise to anyone whatsoever that this is a Devolver game.
Oh, okay.
This is what to me this screams Devolver, this one. I think this is the developers of My Friend Pedro, which is side-scrolling shooting game where you controlled a Banana Man.
I remember that one.
So they went from Banana Man to Shotgun Cop Man.
Mm-hmm.
Really pushed themselves. I really enjoyed playing the demo. It was neat. So I'm looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
Drop Dodgy. Take Tetris, add cards, and build towns.
Yeah,
that's basically the premise.
Yeah,
I played the demo of this as well. And again, it's super neat. I don't know how much actual, for lack of a better term, staying power, and like you get enemy encampments that you have to find a way to deal with as well. So it's just an interesting idea that it held up really well in the demo. How well it holds up for a quote unquote proper release.
Proper release, yeah, it's going to be the
yeah. It is somewhat run based.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess it is.
But at least
the area fills up, I guess, at some point.
Yeah. But at least if it's like the thing with roguelikes now and roguelites is I'm literally ignoring most of them on Steam. Unless they're doing something interesting or unique. And this one seems to be. And the hockey one that's out. Oh, God, I want that to come out properly. But go back up for a sec.
Sorry.
I think... Yes, Imperial.
Missed that one.
Super sci-fi, Souls-like. Beyond that, I don't know, because there isn't a demo for this, but everything they've shown of it looks fucking awesome. But we've had plenty of games, particularly during this upcoming game sport, where it looks fucking awesome and then it doesn't stick to landing. I'm really hopeful this does, but we'll see. The Precinct, as you were about to say.
Yeah, it's a game that I played a demo of back in maybe February.
Was it? Wasn't it? I don't know if it was last year or this year.
I don't remember now either. But yeah, it's a sort of a top-down GTA style, original, like old school GTA,
I was going to say, isn't it basically Grand Theft Cop?
Basically, yeah, it is in a way. But you're a cop and you're just trying to solve. I don't know what I'm curious about what this game is. Will be what is your overarching story around this whole thing? Because when you start it, you're just basically a cop, and you basically do actual cop stuff, like you go and arrest people and that kind of stuff, and doing fairly sort of standard things. But I'm not really sure what is going to drive you through the story.
Yeah, if they somehow LA Noir it and you're going through different departments and shit.
Are you doing one overarching big case that overarches all of them? I don't know. So yeah, I'm really intrigued by what that's going to be. But when I played I really enjoyed the demo when I played it. It was really kind of neat.
And I really enjoyed those early GTA games. They were fucking rad.
Yeah, it's not
I
quite.
mean, like,
It's not quite GTA because it's not
no,
the
you're not
full-on-
running over people and
not
getting
running over
rewarded
people and that
for
kind
it.
of stuff. But it's got that look to it, and like
Yeah,
how it's
slightly
presented.
more tilt shift, I think.
Yeah, like
More isometric, but
yeah,
very
so
much that top down.
you're driving the cars around. You also occasionally get into helicopters and do
Fucking
this sort
A.
of stuff and
Yeah, bodega.
do that. And also, you're also just on foot as well through the police station, having the conversations with various things. So it's interesting how they're presenting it. I think it looks really neat.
Yeah.
I'm just really intrigued by what exactly going to be the overarching story behind that thing and what the setup is for it. But
there's a game that's a little bit further down that, while not exactly the same
it's got
gameplay wise,
it's got a lot of things that are similar. To
it's fucking hella similar. Sorry,
that's very similar.
Which is like,
yeah, we'll look at that in a second.
Capcom Fighting Collection 2. The second, well, technically the third one of these, because there was the Marvel vs. Capcom collection as well.
Yep.
The big ticket items for quite a few people will be the first two Power Stone games.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they had the second Rival Schools game in here that came out on the PlayStation 1. They've got the first one, which didn't really make it over here, which I think is the top right-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think is the first Rival Schools game. Yeah, it looks about right.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was very much, I think it's called Rival Justice off the top of my head, but it's still very much school-based. But I remember playing Rival Schools quite a bit on the first PlayStation. I really dug it. Mm-hmm. The biggest big ticket item is the second image from the bottom on the left-hand side. Capcom versus SNK 2. Mm-hmm. This is regarded as quite possibly one of the greatest fighting games ever. Mm-hmm. And it's going to have netcode.
Oh, okay.
Now, does that mean that people are actually going to play it? That's always a problem with these collections. There are other games in here, obviously. There's a updated version of Street Fighter Alpha 3. Like I said, the Power Stone games, some other bits and pieces. But having CVS 2 readily available, which is, I haven't played CVS 2, but I've heard so many good things about it. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to being able to play that. So we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. May 16.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Takedown, and we did a checkout of this.
Sure did.
Back in, I'm just going to check when.
That was February. That was on the Next Fest.
That was too, yes. That was back in. There it is. Yeah, so that was
at least the second Strange Scaffold game to come out within a month, because the Creepy Redneck Mansion came out this week. Just gone.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's out and available.
We played this back in March. Actually, we did the
demo
of this. So. Yeah, so that was you were higher on it than I thought. I liked the concept of it, but it's not quite. I thought there was going to be more XCOM, and I think the fact that it's what we played in the demo, it's one turtle at a time,
which I believe is the case through the rest of the game.
Which I think is a bit disappointing. They couldn't join them together and have multiple things, because at some point when you various points of the demo, you've got 1 on 15 enemies, so so it does get a bit stacked against you. So that's why I thought it might in fact have at least two of them up together. But So I'm interested how that one will actually come out and how it will land, but probably not on my list. But yeah.
Oh, I dig those sort of. Yes, there it is.
Deliver at all costs. I played this as a demo as well. This game is a bit more. What's the word to describe? Maybe more
lunatic.
Yeah, lunatic. Like it just goes bonkers. Like you can
drive like Maniac.
Yeah, you can it's not quite that.
No, it's not as violent as that.
Not as violent as that, but it's not as it certainly doesn't like. You're basically a delivery company.
Yeah.
You play as a delivery driver, and there's a mission that I did in the demo where you're basically driving. I don't think it's not in the screenshot here. You're driving around with a whole bunch of watermelons in the back of your vehicle. And the physics as you drive, the melons are falling out and crashing and breaking and sort of stuff. And then you get rated how many melons are left when you get to the end point, sort of thing. So, and it's got very destructible environments. It's a neat demo, that's for sure. You can see that sort of stuff here.
Yeah, plowing through buildings. Like the trailer for this is kicking around as ads on a lot of, or I've seen on videos online. And I think if you see the video for about 30 seconds and you don't have the reaction of, holy shit, that looks rad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're probably not going to have a good time with this.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you have any inkling of, fuck yeah, that looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
This game looks cool as shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really looking forward to this one.
Hopefully the concept holds up across like a 12 to 15 hour game.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Same thing as before. Like the story setup in this one is that you're just starting with a delivery company because you haven't got any money, but you've got this mysterious backstory that I assume is going to be explored more in the game.
Oh, you'd have to think so.
But so yeah, it's got a little bit of what's the driving motivation for doing these bizarre deliveries?
Driving motivation.
Hey.
Good one. Nice. Welcome to the fucking title.
What's the driving motivation from mission to mission doing these delivery things? So, but it does look really neat. I think it does look neat, and I think it had pretty decent voice acting from when I was playing it in the demo.
The physics and the destruction looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's probably the big draw of it for sure.
Yeah.
Nice day for fishing.
I think you should maybe play the demo for this.
Ooh,
if it's still available.
Still a demo? Go check.
There's... How do I describe this? It's kind of like a meta JRPG mixed with a bit of Dave the Diver.
Uh-huh. It does have a bit of Dave the Diver sort of look to it, yeah.
Like, it's side-scrolly. You're not... Well, at least in the demo, you're not doing a lot of diving per se. You're throwing the hook down... and you're sort of, for lack of a better term, minigame fighting the fish as you bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really hard thing to actually describe. Like, when I watched I talked over the Galaxy's Games showcase a couple weeks back. I think I might have talked about this at some point. And I watched this. I'm like, fuck this. And then I'm like, okay, I've got the demo already installed. I've just watched this thing. Let's play it on it was on that Good Friday show, the part 1. And even though I was very, very down on it after seeing the trailer, once I played it for like 30 seconds to a minute and actually played the fishing part, it clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the writing and the premise is super clever in that it sets it up as you're an NPC in like an MMO. And there's... I don't want to say any more because I think people should see the actual setup of it and how it goes because I think it's really clever. But I really dug it. Like, how well it holds and sticks through what could be, I don't know, between 12 and fucking 40 hours. Who can say? I think this is the sort of game that might benefit from a shorter game time, but I think with the way in which they write, they might be maybe getting a bit carried away and might try and do more than they need to. But
I'm just looking on the Steam page of it, and it's got live action as the trailer.
Oh yeah,
and I think I've seen that group before do various skits on YouTube and stuff like that. And
that live action thing really turned me off it too.
Yeah, I'm looking knowing what that group does elsewhere. That would also be a turn off for me because I find the stuff they do is just really
grating and annoying
stuff to me.
Because that's what it fucking.
Yeah. So,
but I think the game itself actually does a much better job because I don't think you can. It's hard to sell someone on this just by the look in the video alone. You actually have to play it.
I think you got to play it, yeah.
Once you do 1 or 2 little fishes, done.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
And the demo is still available on Steam as of recording.
It's fucking neat.
Yeah, I'll look at that.
I dug that. I fished that. Boom! Ha ha! Boom! Not a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But Disney Illusion Island is finally coming off the Switch. It's been there for nearly 2 years. Coming out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox. It's Mickey Mouse as a search action / Metroidvania with no combat. But it's all about
mechanic stuff. Okay.
Yeah, sort of platformy, puzzly, mechanic-y type things. I don't know how intense the puzzle stuff is because I don't think it goes that hard with it. But it has. I really like the look of it. I think that's what modern Mickey Mouse looks like now. But I don't know, man. I like me a search action game, and this is one of those.
Yes, it is.
So it reviewed relatively well when it came out. I'll grab that and see how it goes. Last one, a sort of retro futuristic Souls-like almost, or at least that's the vibe I get from the video of it. There's a little bit of anime to it in its design, like the character on the key art on the left there looks very anime. But in the video that I saw in different showcases, it kind of looks Horizon, but more Souls-likey. Which, okay, sure. Or maybe it's more Devil May Cry sort of character action. I get more Souls-like out of it. I mean, it also has the word soul in the title. But beyond that, I'm I'm really looking forward to this.
So there's some decent prospects for May, I think, is the way I would describe May. There's some potential in there, that's for sure. Yep. As I always say, you got to wait till they come out before you can make a call.
Yeah. Like the number of times we've done these upcoming games, and like half the games I don't like. I'm like, yes, I'm going to buy them, and then they come out, and it's like, oh no, I'm not going to buy them because they just don't stick the landing. Like the one that'll bum me out more than anything is if Doom flops. If Doom falls over somehow,
Doom won't flop. Anything that will cause Doom to be a problem will be if it technically comes out bad, and it can't perform.
Well, yeah.
So there's two aspects of a game's release nowadays. It's whether the game's actually any good to play.
Yes.
And B, the second one is, did the game come out in a complete state? You can't actually play it because of whatever,
It's Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Like it's just so buggy, it's not unplayable, or it's
inverted
online,
faces.
You can't get matches queued up, or whatever the thing is that. So there's two aspects of it, and both are fucking critical as other because.
Oh yeah.
Most of the games now are some sort of internet-based thing, but you have to have that connectivity in there. So even a game like Doom will probably have it, and that won't have any sort of multiplayer.
Well, they haven't said anything about online multiplayer in this one, which they pushed for 2016, and they did for Eternal as well. And no one, or very few people, actually fucking touched those modes because the beta for. So if you remember, Doom 2016, they pushed and held back sending review copies to outlets because of how badly the beta was received.
And then the game
because the beta was purely multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was fucking shit.
Yeah, it was. It was like that's how people were so against it.
Yeah, it was
awful. And the main game comes out with the story mode, and then with
it's fucking incredible.
Why did they lead with this?
Because if you lead with that, where's the surprise?
Yeah, exactly. So according to the Steam page, it is a single-player game only.
What? That doesn't mean there won't be online hooks or anything, though. But
no, it's not a multiplayer. Is what I'm getting at. There's no multiplayer deathmatch kind of modes in it.
Yes.
So.
And while we're talking about games from our upcoming games list that most of the time don't hold up, one actually did. I haven't played it yet, but I've bought it. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, is currently the highest-rated game of the year on OpenCritic. Like, I did not see that coming. It landed fucking well. Like, really well. Like, I think last I saw it was like 91, 92 on OpenCritic, and so many positive, like overwhelmingly positive reviews. So I'm very much looking forward to getting into that at some point. And like one of the things I remember saying when we looked at it, as you're looking up, I'm sure the reviews or something. One of the things I remember saying was, "Oh fuck, this is kind of Persona looking. I hope this isn't Persona length."
Yeah, okay. And
it's like 30 or 40 hours.
Which is
I saw reviewers hitting around sort of 40, 45.
That's a decent length. That's not too long. Not well. It's long for me. Oh well.
Yeah.
Compared to 1900 hours for South Dakota, it's fucking short as buggery. But it's a.
But that's the same with like Apex Legends for me. I had like 900 hours in that game because like the individual, But I'm really looking forward to playing it now. Like more so than like I said, I bought it. It's on Game Pass, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm going to buy it," so that they go, "Oh, damn." Which I'm curious if I should do that for South of Midnight, but I haven't played that yet.
Actually, that's actually one game. So I'll go through the games I've got on the Allied to see how they go.
Here we go. All right, this is one I'm interested in.
So I've installed Spilled, as we talked about at the top of the show.
Yep.
Was one of the games you're playing, or he played. So I've installed that. That's hopefully going to be the game I'll play on the flight over. It should.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the playing game, surely.
Should be the perfect length of wind time to play that. I've installed, as mentioned earlier, this experimental version of Satisfactory, which is basically to see how it plays on the Ally and also the controller part of it. I have installed South of Midnight because it's on the Game Pass thing, so I was able to install that on there. I've updated SteamWorld Heist 2 because haven't got back to that one yet.
Oh fuck yeah!
That
game's fucking good.
That's a good game, so that's always good to play on that. I've also updated, I've updated the Sumerian 6 from last year as well to get back to that. What else did I install? I saw another one that I saw. I might just have to turn on the device.
I kind of feel like it'll be like all of this is installed, and it's like, okay, so how would you play on the Ally? Satisfactory. I'm kind of thinking that's how this is going to go.
It's entirely possible. I'm not saying it won't happen, but the only reason that would happen is if it actually performs well, actually runs well on the.
There's nothing wrong if that's what you play.
No, not at all. Let me just check what I have installed. So it's really just to see what with the nature of
the actual performance on that sort of handheld form factor.
Yeah, is what I'm really interested in.
All that sort of biz.
Yeah. Chains of Freedom, which is another XCOM style
yes!
game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you did a demo. I think you might have played the demo.
I played the demo of this.
So I also played a demo of it, so I was a bit... So, yeah, we'll see how that's like.
How did you feel about the writing in that?
I found the writing in the demo very stilted. And it might just be in the way in which the game delivers it. I'm not too sure, but it's also incredibly cliched.
That was the part for me. I'm like, oh, okay. We represent the authority and we're going to stop anyone. Yeah. Oh, get fucked.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Particularly, like, given who's president and given what's been going on in Ukraine for the last fucking 2 years, 3 years. I'm like, oh, no.
So we'll see how that actually plays out. But, yeah, that's not high on the list to play, but it's on there.
It's a shame, too, because it's not like we couldn't... Well, I mean, really, could we not have more of those sort of XCOM-like games? But that seemed like it was going to be a really neat one of those kinds of games.
Yeah,
but
I've also
got, the writing dropped the ball hard for me.
The Lamplighters League from a couple of years back is also installed on there, which I never got.
Oh, yeah!
Which is another one of those games. So I'll probably end up...
Yes!
If I don't like Chains of Freedom, I want one of those games, I've got that as a fallback.
Well, there's SteamWorld Heist 2. That's basically one of those games, just on 2D.
Sort of, to a degree it is, yeah. But not... I've also installed Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I never finished.
No, you didn't fucking finish that.
For some reason, I don't know what it was. I'm probably Satisfactory.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm almost positive it was Satisfactory.
Probably very Satisfactory, got in the way of that one. So I installed that just because I was listening to the soundtrack during the week, and I thought, fuck, that's a good soundtrack. And I thought, oh, we'll have a look at that.
I think off the top of my head, that game launched maybe a little rough as well.
It probably did too, so maybe that's probably what maybe part
rougher
of it.
Than the first one did.
And the other game I've got is a game I think you have played and finished, I believe, and that is a game about digging a hole.
Yep, fucking A.
I've got that as well. So it's relatively... So a couple of small games.
That's a good game for the plane ride back.
Yeah, probably the plane ride back, yeah. So just a couple of games like that to... and also got... Iron Fisher is also stored in there, so I might have been cranking into that. So I've got half a dozen games to look at, to see, just to kill time while I'm over there in Melbourne.
So in a couple of weeks' time, we'll hear about anywhere upwards or up to half a dozen games.
Potentially. We shall see. It'll come down to...
Satisfactory.
It comes down to, again, how they perform on the roll. But they've done a fair bit of updates to the roll, and I think it seems to be pretty stable at the moment, so it's looking to be okay. But yeah, so that's basically what I've got to offer to play. But I've also got YouTube and that sort of stuff as well, because I'm on iPad with me, so not exactly the only thing I've got to amuse myself with at the evenings in my hotel room. So, but yeah,
I could make a joke there, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, please don't. Let's jump into the beginning of the end.
Ow!
We have the usual, well, was going to say we had the usual. We don't really have the usual. We got your Enemy Starship Twitch channel.
Twitch.tv/Enemy Starship. Give me a follow over there. You'll get a notification when I go live. Friday Night Fun will be back to 4 p.m. start on Friday because I have to get home from work. And Saturday we'll probably kick at about 3 again. Maybe I won't accidentally go for fucking nearly 6 hours today or next week because I made the dumb decision of starting to play Doom, like going back to Doom Eternal at like 5. I'm like, most levels took me about an hour, or at least the first couple. I hit the first real level, and it took me over 2.5 hours. It was fucked, but it was great. A lot of swearing in that one.
Yeah, that's about all we really. YouTube channel, we'll have a Solar Factory come up. Will be episode 39 on Wednesday in a couple of days' time from posting of this recording. Yes. We'll probably do some sort of checkout next weekend. I'm not too sure what that will be though. Not too sure what we've got as options. We may also go back to Luma Island, or we may go and start Split Faction. We'll know. We'll figure that out when we get there. So we have options. But I think that'll just about wrap us up for episode. Unless you've got anything to add? No? Cool.
No, I need to. I haven't listened to heaps of at least recent 2025 stuff, but I'll talk about that on Friday Night Fun. There is one or two things, and Ghost's new album came out on Friday. So, who knows? Maybe that's good, or maybe it's shit like that. Well, all right, shit's a bit harsh, but I didn't really much care for the last album they put out. It was a little bit too poppy, disco-y kind of vibe for me. But whatever. We'll see.
All right.
Music!
In that case, this will be the end of episode 318 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for 2025. Steve, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we're out. See you next week. And the week after.
Bye! I'm waving my hand.